Broadway Balances America, brought to you by Broadway across America, bringing the best of Broadway to a city near you.
Time now for Broadway Balances America, our series that takes you behind the scenes of some of the most beloved Broadway musicals. I love this, as they appear across the country and into your local theaters. Today, Waitress.
Sugar, butter, and yes, a spunky waitress, blended all together with an original score that is so witty by Grammy nominee Sara Bareilles. And guess what you've got?
What?
You've got a recipe for the perfect Broadway musical. So let's head to the diner and meet the women of Waitress the musical.
The musical is inspired by Adrienne Shelly's beloved indie film of the same name, with music and lyrics by Sara Bareilles, a book by Jessie Nelson, and directed by Tony Award winner Diane Paulus.
The story of Waitress is based around three waitresses who work in a small diner, small town USA. They're real people, they work hard for their living, and at the center is the character of Jenna. And she is an extraordinary pie baker. She has this incredible talent, but her problem is she doesn't deal with the real life troubles in her life. Instead, she puts all her emotions and bakes a pie.
Jenna is a character that is so precious to me and has done so much for me in my life. And so getting to tell her story, you know, was just like I'll never forget that.
It's hard not to instantly fall in love with our heroine, who often balances life's toughest situations through her whimsical pie recipes.
She's a wife. We look at that relationship between her and her husband. She works at a diner where she and her two kind of best coworker pals, Dawn and Becky, work. We all work together. She bakes as an escape. But what happens is these circumstances are so in her face that she doesn't have the choice just to bake it away. She has to face these realities, these deep, kind of scary, dark, emotional realities. And then it's unbelievable how her life changes.
Jenna soon discovers that she's become pregnant and is in an unloving marriage with little hope of getting out. Dismayed by the news, but determined to keep the baby, Jenna heads to her doctor, pie in hand, and meets the handsome and charming Dr. Jim Palmiter, and suddenly her life begins to take a turn.
But what's so redemptive in our musical is this woman who's an extraordinary pie maker actually, in the end of our story, gets to turn that talent into a form of empowerment. She has to deal with her own problems, and she does it through so many things that happen to her in the show. Relationships, encounters, her deep sister friends that she has in that diner, the other waitresses. But in the end, she has to look inside herself.
Everybody's got something they're dealing with. Don't worry about me.
Helping Jenna summon the strength and courage to rebuild her own life are her fellow waitresses. There's the feisty Becky, played by Charity Angel Dawson.
Dust the flour out of your brain.
She wants to, help spur her on toward greatness and toward this life that she can have of happiness and fullness without this abusive relationship. And I think that she does it with a little sass on it, but it's all in love to try to get her to the next level in her life.
What is it like to play her, and are you similar to her? How much of yourself do you bring into that role?
I'm not as spicy, as Becky, but so it's nice to have that release on stage, to get to tap into a different part of myself, that I become the person who reaches out to help my friends a lot. I want to see them, grow and live and thrive.
And rounding out this trio of strong women is Lenna Clingerman, who plays the reserved Dawn.
Well, you can move in with me. It's a studio, but I have a full-size twin.
She's, vibrant and has so much going on underneath that turtle exterior that she's hiding under. And so I love getting to bring kind of my own buoyancy and vibrancy to that, especially for when those moments that she pops out of her shell. But also I'm a Capricorn, so her perfectionism and control freakness really speaks to me too. So I like to play the balance between those two things. really getting to relish in seeing the beautiful bond of friendship and love between these three women. I hope the audiences see themselves in one or all of them and just get to enjoy something that we don't often see, which is this like beautiful bond of female friendship.
Celebrating the bonds of friendship, motherhood, and of course, the magic of a well-made pie all comes together through the music and lyrics of Grammy nominee Sara Bareilles.
I think I wanted to give everybody some emotional depth, and I think there was lots to draw from the world of Waitress that all of these characters are so interesting and complicated and messy, and they were delicious to sort of like do a deep dive into and try to give them, some real life. And then, as always with my music, my hope is to just be a reflection that someone recognizes themselves.
And this beautiful masterpiece has been brought to life by Broadway's first all-female creative team.
It just seems like they were all the people that were right for the job, and it just happened to be women.
We weren't trying to be the first all-female group. We just happened to be people who were working hard and in the top of our fields and found each other that way. We had to explore a lot of different versions of everything, and you're sort of trying to find the answer, but there's no playbook to go to, so you're on this constant exploration with each other. But we had a lot of laughs, we had some tears, we had everything in between.
As we've worked, the actors and the people who are part of our team and community, will often pause and say, can I just note that it never looks like this in the room? And I think that visualization of seeing women lead in a room creatively is just a sign that this is possible. And all the young women across America who are aspiring to be in these fields know there's a place for them.
Dish, deep dish. Sorry, Cal. The day starts like the rest we've seen.
And of course, there's always a place for pie.
So for me, I had never made a pie. I thought it was very important to make a pie. And after I had found out that I had won the role of Jenna, my mom flew to New York City, and in my New York City studio apartment, she taught me how to bake a pie, which was my great-grandmother's cherry pie recipe, and we called it very celebratory pie.
My go-to pie is my mom's blackberry pie, and then it's pretty much just like blackberries and sugar.
I feel like my production is my pie. I spend so much effort, creating the production and working with such remarkable performers like Desi and kind of like launching them. Those are my little cooking creation.
Waitress is a little slice of heaven, and they can't wait to share this winning recipe with audiences across America.
I think people come away from this show not realizing that they were going to laugh as much as they did. Yeah. And I hope that we continue to just kind of touch that heart center. When people come to see the show, they leave with having had an emotional experience, but also that they have gone on some sort of journey themselves.
And this is a musical that says, wake up. It's never too late. And I think especially for women, to say you deserve happiness, you deserve a kind of empowerment, but it's everybody's story. And that's a really important distinction. Stories about women are not just for women, because everybody has a mother, a sister, a daughter, and we all care about these issues.
You have to see this show. From the songs to the characters to the witty, sarcastic, funny. You will laugh, you will cry. It is real. This story is life-changing, for sure.
The North American tour of Waitress is coming soon to a theater near you. Check out Broadway Across America, Broadway Balances America, or you can always go to our website, thebalancingact.com, for all the show information, tour dates, and more.
Sugar, butter, flour.